I made birthday cakes for my friends, but I was never invited to one girl's wedding. She asked me to make her wedding cake as a gift, and when I said no, she started causing drama in our group chat. I'd like some advice on how to handle this. I have a group of friends, but we're not all close. Most of them are just people I hang out with, but I do consider Emma and Lily to be real friends. For Emma's birthday, I made her a cake. Lily had a small wedding, and Emma brought wine while I brought a cake for the celebration at Emma's house. There's a girl in the group named Sarah, and we're not close. She's always been a bit distant toward me, and I can tell she doesn't really like me. I don't hate her, but I don't think we would be friends because we think differently. At the party, Sarah said the cake was good but a bit dry. She kept talking about it, and everyone else changed the subject. I didn't say anything. Sarah had been planning her wedding before Lily's, and she asked Emma, Lily, and some of the others for advice, but never asked me. I figured I wasn't invited and wasn't surprised when I didn't get an invitation. Emma wanted to talk to Sarah about it, but I told her not to, since I didn't want to be invited out of pity. I understood why I wasn't invited, and Emma said she wouldn't go if it upset me, but I told her not to worry about it. Then Sarah messaged me on WhatsApp asking about cake designs and filling options. I thought she already had all that figured out since her wedding was coming soon. I sent her some ideas, and she liked a few. She asked if I could do the setup, so I showed her some examples. She just responded with a thumbs up and we didn't talk after that. I thought she wasn't interested in hiring me, especially since she didn't ask for a quote or schedule a meeting. This was over a month ago. Today, we went out to eat, and everyone was talking about Sarah's wedding. Her fiancé asked who I'd be bringing, and since I'm single, I said I wasn't going. He asked why, and to keep it casual, I said I'd be visiting my parents. He understood, but Sarah asked when I was leaving. I told her Wednesday, and she said the wedding was on Saturday. Then she asked, how are you going to set up the cake? I was confused and asked which cake she meant. She said, the one you're bringing to my wedding. I told her we hadn't planned anything, and she insisted she had our messages. I explained that I only gave her some ideas and photos, and since she didn't follow up, I thought she wasn't interested. Her fiancé asked if there was anything I could do, and I explained that the bakery needs a contract and deposit. Emma asked if Sarah had paid or asked for a contract. Sarah replied, saying she didn't need one because the cake was my wedding gift, and I should make sure she had it for Saturday. I told her I don't control the bakery schedule, and since the wedding was so close, they probably wouldn't accept a new order. Sarah seemed upset and uncomfortable. I paid my bill, said goodbye, and left because I needed to go. I really don't want to lose my friends because I'm not from this city, and I felt comfortable with them. I don't want this to cause tension, but I also don't know how to handle conflicts. I know it's a bit sad that I can't stand up for myself and that I'd rather avoid confrontation. After I left, Maddie told me Carly said it wasn't fair for me to back out after I agreed. Some people in the group hinted that I didn't want to go to the wedding because I didn't want to give her the cake, but Jessie said I wasn't even invited, and Carly replied that she did invite me. Comments. Commenter 1, it's not okay for her to expect a gift, especially a big cake, from someone she didn't even invite to her wedding. You were right to say you hadn't agreed to make the cake. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to give something so big to someone who doesn't really like you, especially when you don't even have a real relationship. Commenter 2, it sounds like Carly is trying to control the story. It might be best to explain things to your group and show them the messages. Otherwise, you might lose some friends who are listening to Carly. Maybe even tell her fiancé. Update 1, November 11, 2024. I wanted to give an update for those who asked. To those who wondered why I didn't stand up for myself, I really don't like confronting people. It makes me nervous and anxious. When I had to do presentations in school, I would get sick before and after. I've even kept things I didn't want just because I was too embarrassed to return them. I've been in therapy, and because of that, I now work as a cashier at a bakery. I don't think I could have done that before. I'm better now, but I still get nervous speaking in public. I have a younger sister who used to go everywhere with me. I'd give her money, and she would pay for things because just talking to the cashier would make me nervous. I know people can feel sorry for someone who seems weak, and I don't want to be seen that way. Someone asked how old we are. I'm 21. Maddie is 30. Carly is 30. Anna is 31. Carly's fiancé is 31. And Jessie is 30. I hope that clears things up. Now, here's what happened next. Someone gave me advice on what to say to Carly, so I sent it to her. She replied saying she thought I wouldn't mind and that I owed her a gift anyway. She said she had chosen the cake as her gift. I replied that only guests are supposed to bring gifts. She asked what I meant, so I explained that she didn't invite me to the wedding. She didn't reply. I messaged her fiancé and said, I don't want to cause drama, but I didn't agree to make her wedding cake. I sent him screenshots of our conversation, and he called me right away. He apologized and said he thought it was strange when Carly told him I'd offered the cake. I told him it was even stranger since I wasn't invited. He asked if I was serious, and I said yes, but I wasn't upset and understood if it was private. He apologized again, and we ended the call. Later, Carly messaged me saying I was making a big deal out of nothing, as if I couldn't just give her the cake. She didn't understand why I was being so sensitive. She said I gave Maddie a cake and Jessie one too, and asked why I couldn't do the same for her. I replied that Maddie's cake was for her birthday, and Jessie's cake was for her wedding, but it wasn't a wedding cake. Carly replied that it didn't matter what the cake was for, so I told her she could just buy one from the supermarket. She started typing but I blocked her before her message came through. Then Carly shared a message in the group where I told her to buy the cake at the supermarket. She said it was insulting and made it look like I didn't care about her wedding, so no one could blame her. I replied to the group with a message I adapted from a comment someone gave me. Hey everyone, I just want to clear up some confusion. I won't be attending the wedding because I didn't get an invitation. I made other plans since the rest of you were invited. I'm not upset about it, it is what it is. The cake confusion is strange to me. I only gave some cake ideas, and that's all. I don't understand why I'd be expected to cover a wedding cake when I wasn't invited. Since Carly said the cake didn't matter, I suggested a supermarket cake. I hope this clears everything up. I wish you all a great time at Carly's wedding. Congratulations in advance to her and her fiancé, and I hope no one feels stuck in the middle. I also posted screenshots showing that Carly only reacted with a thumbs up when I sent cake ideas. After a while, someone said the group wasn't for drama and suggested we handle it privately. Maddie jumped in and said since Carly asked for the cake in public, it's only fair to explain things publicly. Another girl, Anna, said, that's not how you ask for a gift. Carly saw the messages and sent a voice note saying I shouldn't have made a big deal out of it and that I was being too sensitive. Then she sent a second message saying that when I get married, I'll understand what it's like not to have friends who help with things from their jobs. A guy replied, tagging her, you didn't invite her. Carly said she had, and another guy asked, do you have the confirmation? There was no reply. Carly then said, no, but she should have told me when she saw she didn't get the invite. Jessie replied that she didn't like Carly's attitude and almost considered not going to the wedding, but would go for the fiancé's sake. Carly said, so no one says I didn't invite you. I'll send an electronic invite now. I replied, no need, I already have plans. Carly replied, there, you all see, and then someone who hadn't spoken left the group. Update 2, November 21, 2024. Hey everyone, thanks for your kindness and advice. I'll explain everything step by step now. I tend to be brief when I talk, so it might confuse people, but I'm happy to clarify things. My sister often asks, did this happen before or after, or what happened next, just to make sure I'm clear. To clear up the timeline, when Carly tried Jessie's cake, she had already sent out the invitations. That was on Monday. The group chat went quiet after that, and the groom muted it since he's the admin. On Tuesday, the groom came by the bakery and apologized for Carly's behavior. He gave me an invitation. It wasn't like the others. It was just a plain envelope with a printed letter inside. He asked me to come to the wedding, but I told him I already had plans and didn't feel comfortable going. He asked why I didn't say anything about not getting an invitation. I told him I was embarrassed to be left out, but I understood. He said he didn't know and that when Maddie mentioned it, Carly claimed she had sent the invite but would check. He kept asking me to come, saying it would mean a lot to him. I said no. I'm learning to say no, and honestly, it feels good. He asked me to think about it, left the invitation, and left. Later that night, the groom added the guy who had left the chat, the best man, back into the group. Then he sent a message saying, the issue has been resolved. It was just a misunderstanding. We hope OP will join Carly and me on our big day. It would be really sad if she doesn't come. Please come celebrate with us. Anna sent me a private message asking, did the groom really bring you an invitation? I told her yes, and she said, what an idiot. She added, don't go if you don't want to. Don't let him ease his guilt. He's no better than Carly. I thanked her, and we wished each other good night. The groom reactivated the group chat, and Carly replied to his message with crying emojis. Then the best man left the group again without saying anything. I left the group too and turned off my phone. When I got to my parents' house, I turned my phone back on and saw a lot of messages. I didn't know what Carly had said, but I assumed it was about me because Anna sent me angry messages like, "That was too much." The groom had sent, "She's already here, calm down." Carly had sent a bunch of messages in the group asking why I wasn't responding. Maddie replied to one of Carly's messages, saying, "Why do you want her to respond if that's how you feel?" Carly had said something like, "That idiot never has an opinion on anything, and now she's trying to act all interesting." Jesse replied in the group, saying, "She's not seeing these messages." I had a lot of private messages from Jesse, but I opened the group chat first. There were more messages, but honestly, I wasn't feeling well. On Saturday, I turned off my phone again. The wedding took place, and I saw the photos on Facebook. Jesse and Maddie messaged me privately, but I didn't know what to say. Eventually, Maddie came to see me at work and asked if I was upset that she went to the wedding. I told her I wasn't. She mentioned that I hadn't replied to her messages, and I said I was just stressed. Maddie also told me that she had spoken to Carly's mom about the whole cake situation. Carly's mom mentioned she didn't get the cake either because Carly had wanted another girl to buy it a week before the wedding. Maddie also told me that Carly had originally chosen a dummy cake, and the guest cake was pre-ordered as individual servings. Carly's mom said she'd talked to her but figured it was just a misunderstanding. Maddie also told me that the best man was cutting ties with the groom because of issues with the resort and everything else that happened. Carly was in a bad mood at the wedding, and the groom got drunk, so they left early. The wedding was nice otherwise. The original bridesmaids weren't in the wedding anymore, and different girls were there. Maddie also mentioned that neither the best man nor Anna attended. Edit: Anna didn't send me angry messages. She sent them to Carly. The group is on WhatsApp, and the messages I received were after I was added back, and the one Maddie selected. The best man isn't on my side. He had his own issue with the groom and Carly. Anna didn't stand up for me because of me. She would have done the same for anyone. I've cleared things up here because I'd like to read all your messages. I hope the next time I update, it'll be the last because this has been a lot. Sometimes I wonder if I should have just given the cake as a gift. Some people at my work know what happened, and it's been awkward. I can talk about it here, but in person, it's much harder. Additional details. Getting messages from group chats on WhatsApp. If you're added to a group chat after a message was sent, you won't see anything sent before you were added. If someone references or discusses something that was shared earlier, you won't be able to interact with it unless it's shared again. Clarification on the best man's behavior. Why the best man was upset. The best man works at a resort and arranged a deal for some services that weren't included. Carly got bored since it was a weekday and asked for some extra things, which resulted in an additional charge. The groom couldn't cover the cost, so the best man paid for it, and the groom said he'd pay him back. December 16, 2024 update. I wasn't able to update earlier because I've been moving houses and dealing with a legal issue with Carly. First, let me clarify what happened with the resort. The godfather, who works at a high-end resort, was supposed to be the godfather at the wedding. Carly wanted to go, but her boyfriend couldn't afford it. The godfather offered a deal for 3 weekdays but not the weekend, which Carly and her boyfriend accepted. However, some services weren't included, like room service and massages. Carly became upset because the resort was empty during the weekdays, and she didn't enjoy the activities. She ordered many things to the room, and I don't know what else she did, but it resulted in a huge extra charge. The boyfriend couldn't cover it, and the godfather got furious. He told the boyfriend to consider the situation as his wedding gift and to not involve him in the group anymore, which is why he left the group the first time. I wasn't aware that Carly wanted to go again. One of the bridesmaids, who is close to both Maddie and Carly, said Carly was acting like a bridezilla. Carly had picked out the color of the bridesmaid dress but hadn't given specific details on the design or shades. When they sent it to her for approval, she agreed, but when she saw the dress in person, she claimed she didn't like it. Some of the bridesmaids backed out because they couldn't afford another dress. This bridesmaid also mentioned that the boyfriend had referred to the girls as substitutes for the bridesmaids. When some girls didn't want to be part of the bouquet toss tradition, the boyfriend suggested they just skip it, but the bridesmaid said that would attract more attention. I can't confirm if all of this is true, but the bridesmaid also mentioned that Carly had told a story about an incident when Carly intentionally took my drink because she knew I wouldn't complain. I didn't remember this, but apparently, Carly tells the story as a funny joke. Since hearing this, mentally, I feel like they're no longer my friends. A week later, I didn't comment on the gossip I had overheard, but Carly came to my workplace and started shouting at me. I told her to leave, and she broke a glass in the process. When other employees came out, she came at me, and I ended up defending myself by using a tray that was used for baking. I hit her multiple times, and I think I fractured her arm. She sued me, but there are videos showing she attacked me first and even pulled my hair. She had scratches on her face, but I don't remember doing that. The bakery owner took the matter to the prosecutor's office, and while Carly tried to make me equally responsible, she had broken the glass before I defended myself. Maddie and Jesse have tried to talk to me and offer support, but I've told them I don't want their friendship anymore. They insist they weren't the ones who spoke to Carly, but it's strange that this all started after they saw each other. Carly confronted me about liking her boyfriend, which I denied, and Maddie had asked me about that a long time ago. It's odd that it's being brought up again now and twisted into something else. There have been threats, which is why I moved houses. I'm not a violent person, though it might seem like I am now. I'm more anxious and stressed than ever, and this legal issue is how I'll start 2025.